Hello and welcome to LedgerCast. My name is Brian Krogsgaard, and I'm here with Josh Olswich. Hey, Josh.
Brian, sir, how are you?
Sir. Target, sir.
Win moon, sir.
Win moon. I mean, that's the question that we all need the answer to, right? I'm doing pretty well. Just hanging in there, enjoying the price action of late. It's been tradable, in my opinion, and I like that. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, I've made probably more trades past week than I have the past 2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit of DCA sprinkled into that.
It's always more. It's always more fun when you feel like you can actually trade something, versus when the market just seems like it doesn't like you. You know, like it's not speaking to you. I hate that feeling. But that's not the case at the moment. At the moment, we've got some action. We've got tradable Bitcoin ranges. Here, I'm actually gonna pop my screen on there real quick. We've got some stuff that I'm watching for higher time frame consolidation. I put this on a Twitch video yesterday, and I think I tweeted it, but potential pennant, long-term daily pennant triangle thing. These are pretty tradable in Bitcoin, so I love that. Get to see it form, play the range highs and lows if you want. Let that inform your altcoin decision making based on when there might be an impulse. So it just gives us a lot to work with that we aren't always so lucky, you know?
Yeah, I lost your screen.
You lost my screen.
I found it. It was bearish. I was bearish at the bottom. I'm still pretty bearish. I don't think we break 10K before we break 8.5.
Yeah.
Like there's the Adam and Eve there. We survived CME rollover. ETH funding and longs are just to infinity and beyond right now. So it'll be interesting if we keep going, but I don't see it. I don't know.
You know, the level I don't like anymore, I know a lot of people are still calling for this kind of 7K, 7.1 to 7.3, something in here. I don't like that level anymore.
I think about max pain. That's max pain for a lot of people.
Yeah, it may be. I see a lot of people calling for that as where the dip should go, and I either think I really my true belief is that we'll fill out this triangle a little more, but if we dip to, in my mind, 8K is kind of the FOMO buy the dip type zone. From people I talk to, they don't seem to want to sell where we are currently. So I mean that says something for me. If you're not willing to sell here, but you want to buy the dip, then why do you deserve 7K? Why do you deserve the 7K dip? Like, if we get a dip, I don't think it's going to be that big, unless the legacy market rolls over with bigliness, and then maybe we can roll down even deeper than 7K, have a more, not 4K, but like 6K or something like that, like a real deep retest. But I don't think we get any of that. I think we stay above the 200-day. That's where I'm putting my flag in the ground.
What would it take to bring us down there is my question,
Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty
inflation is lower than ever. Barry is buying more coins per week than ever, and like you said, nobody wants to sell.
Yeah.
So
why do you deserve anything below?
I don't deserve anything at all ever, but my bids are waiting.
I know you're not.
Like a pillow.
What's soft. This you got pulled up on Skew? Tell me the sentiment.
I just like Skew because they have a ton of data that you can just peruse at your leisure for free. I was looking at this Q2 because Q2's a month left, right?
Q2 has
till July. Historically, Q2 is the most bullish across crypto in general. Q1 the most bearish for BTC. So I'd like to see a pullback and then a bigger move higher within the next month. I don't know if we have enough time for that, but maybe. I don't know how bullish Q3 is going to be. Historically, it's the second most bearish quarter. Q4, I think, has been where all of our all-time highs have been put in. I might be wrong there, but so I'm bullish Q4, medium to bearish Q3. I'm bullish the rest of this quarter. I just think we need little bit of down move first to wash out some of those longs.
Yeah, I mean, I pull up that Ethereum long interest because that one's the one that's truly terrifying.
But like, is this even real? No, at this point, Bitfinex is just a black box.
Mega Bull Chadwell. I don't know.
The other thing about this is if you pop on the price, most of these longs were added like at the bottom of that drop on March 12th. So they're not going to be flipping. They're not going to be closing anytime soon. You know?
Yeah.
They're in heavy profit. I think they'd have to get to much higher profit to close.
March 12th.
I don't think they're going to be squeezed.
So they were like buying 120s Ethereum. So squeezing them is not easy.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
They have plenty of time to close throughout a downtrend, still in profit. So, but a lot of those longs were added throughout the move, right? So all the ones, you know, the last top with 215 was April 28th. So where's that? Where's April 28th on that chart? So there's at least, yeah. So
a lot
second,
of these are new.
Yeah, that second half of the trend line on the longs themselves, you know, there's some squeezability, some long squeezability there.
I can try to add
the Ethereum longs make me nervous. I don't even know what the Bitcoin longs are. I've just seen the Ethereum one so many times, but
it's nowhere near what that is.
And definitely futures premiums and stuff are in better shape. Like people aren't, you know, futures premiums aren't like $300 or $400 ahead or whatever.
On ETH, yeah.
No, I mean
or just in general
on Bitcoin. Like in general, it seems like I saw a tweet. I wish I could remember who it was, but they were talking about how this round of 9K is much healthier than the last two times that we entered that realm. We're not near as stretched. We're not near as over speculatively long, etc. But for Ethereum, it's different. Like it's pretty ridiculous. However, from a pure technical perspective, if I flip over to that chart, like this played the exact type of ascending triangle that I just talked about in Bitcoin, and it broke it to the upside so far. Like above 215, we get 250 is what I was seeking before. And we got above 215. So like, do we just play the freaking chart? You know, do we ignore? I feel like we should ignore.
Yeah. I just blindly bought based on the cloud yesterday.
Yeah. And if you look at mine, I mean, from a pattern perspective, from a level to level perspective, it just looks like this is the trade setup right here. The 215.
There's even a IHS argument there, inverted head and shoulders, which doesn't match the location of the pattern. But
yeah. So this thing.
Yeah, it's on. You can see it on lower time frames a little better, but yeah.
Yeah. So inverted head and shoulders as continuation, which formed the ascending triangle. This is textbook chart pattern crap. So the chart tells you to long 215, to sell at 250. The longs prevent me from being willing to do that because there's got to be some kind of shenanigans, I feel like, to make this suck for market participants.
Yeah. The other thing I liked was the yearly pivot is at 200 almost exactly, 198, whatever. And we were consolidating above that. So that's usually a sign that we're moving higher.
You have the pivots up on your chart right now?
Yeah, they're the get rid of all this nonsense.
Oh, is it the orange line?
It's the line.
Wow. It really played that as a perfect level. Yeah.
Yeah. On the way
yeah,
down,
it just looks like a very bullish chart. Like there's nothing to not like about that from a technical perspective.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
As we've said many, many times, in a vacuum, that's what we'll take. We'll take the chart, we'll trade the chart, screw the sentiment and everything else. I just think because of the speculative long position, it just doesn't seem that often where such a crowded boat survives.
That's why I think something's up with that number on Bitfinex because nothing else is that large.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, in a vacuum, Ethereum looks freaking great.
A lot of volume though. Kind of noticing that on a few coins like Tezos for Kraken, Ethereum here for Coinbase. You know, pre January, Ethereum was down in the dumps as far as volume is concerned on Coinbase, but it's definitely picked up post January. That's what you want to see if you're bullish.
Yeah. Now, Josh, oops. In addition to what we just talked about with Ethereum, you did a altcoin extravaganza video, some alt strength starting. You did this on May 28th, and you've got some notes in here throughout. You built your watch list out. You made your notes. This is cool. So maybe we won't dig into all things, all alts today, but you have some stayaways. Can you give me a kind of what's a TLDR on some of your alt thoughts based on altcoin extravaganza?
In general, most of the alts that are bullish look like ETH. Most of the bearish alts look like LTC. And I just think it's easier to rotate into strength right now and then take profit and rotate into the other stuff.
And visually, for anyone curious, the USD charts just haven't broken out at all on something like LTC, and the BTC relative charts fully broke down and look like they're in price exploration to the downside. So in terms of the do not long side, they all kind of look like that. Whereas,
yeah, so if you're comparing like Tezos and Link to LTC and EOS, for example, like it's night and day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my TLDR. And ZRX just looks so good. BTC or ADA broke out like a few hours after I posted the video, maybe.
Did they launch their
ADA,
mainnet?
Who knows, man? That thing could just.
I know that's what the news was about.
I care.
I talked.
It wasn't even news.
Well, it was completion. I don't know.
Is that ADA? Oh no, that's ZRX.
No, this is ZRX, because I talked about this in my miniature Twitch stream yesterday. I really want to see this weekly recover between now and Sunday, because this Adam and Eve, I don't know, it looks kind of life support-y to me. Like, I don't like this many taps down into the neckline. Like third move down. I really want to get above these prior highs, above 4K sats on ZRX before I'd be willing to long it. Kind of round up that handle, you know.
I would instead of buying ZRX, I bought ETH yesterday, but just because it took too many trades to actually buy ZRX. Like, if you have money on, so Coinbase closed my ZRX capabilities because I did live in New York for a time when I opened the account, and even though I moved,
they don't care.
They don't care. Like,
once a New Yorker, always ZRX. A New Yorker. Can't trade.
Yeah, so I can't get it there. It's not on Kraken. I have to transfer something to Binance US to buy it and then sell for USD. It's just a mess, man.
Yeah.
And then after that, you have to figure out how to stake it, which isn't really available on the exchange side yet. So it's too much work.
That's fair.
So unless it's a derivative, it's just too hard to buy spot for ZRX right now for me personally, but maybe it's easier for other people. I didn't try Bittrex. That might be a place to buy it. But probably not, because it's, international versus US.
I think Bittrex US has ZRX. But yeah, I'm with you. So we'll kind of leave the altcoin discussion for there. Check out Josh's alt extravaganza video, because you show the patterns to look out for, the specifics on a whole bunch of pairs. So that's nice. And similarly, in this Twitch archive for anybody on Twitch, I did some alt charts yesterday too. So you can see how we line up, because we didn't watch each other's videos when we recorded those. I started watching yours today, but I haven't gotten through the whole thing yet.
You're bullish on everything I'm bearish on, undoubtedly.
No, I don't think that's totally true. I'm bullish on Atom, which is one that you probably don't like as much as me, but it's purely because I love the risk reward profile here. It's this kind of 20-day flip and test concept that we see right here. And if it swings above the prior low, then it just sets up a really nice trade in my mind. Like, this is the trade I want. That goes all the way to the top of that range, maybe up to the 200. And then you can set a tight stop if you want here at the below the 20-day or below the prior daily low. So you've got a 5% stop on spot with 30% upside at a minimum to me in terms of where I would want to hold. And I like that trade. If I can increase Bitcoin by 30%, count me in, baby. And if it flips this longer term trend, this is Atom to me is one of those where it's got this lifetime, very clear trend. I almost look like I'm about to draw an Elliott wave.
That's what I thought you were about to do.
ABCD. No, it's just more that, some coins do this kind of huge waves pattern. ZRX and BAT both have done that. And if it breaks this long-term horizontal as part of that trade, then maybe it does have more in it than I'm trying to plan for. But I like that. I like that trade. I like what it means. I can put a nice tight stop on it. If I want to play looser, I can go all the way to new lows, reduce my size a little bit because I'm risking a higher percentage loss. But there's a lot of good stuff I can do there, and I'm with that. I'm in for that trade. So that's why. All right. Back to our regular scheduled programming.
What did you think about that Goldman Sachs news?
I don't freaking care. Goldman says crap all the time. Like, it just depends.
That was my thought. My thought as well. It's like, it's 2020 and we're still talking about what bankers think about crypto. Like, we know what they think. Why should we care?
Yeah.
It's just funny how it like blew up all over the place. Maybe just because there's nothing else going on right now in the world, but that's wrong. That's an incorrect statement, but people are just home and bored, maybe. I don't know. I just felt like it blew up for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know why so many people cared. And they have different traders make different statements from there all the time. Like, just because one of their desks put some memo out, like, it's probably some 24-year-old kid 2 years out of NYU. Like, who cares?
Yep. I mean, by the time they like it, it's probably time to move on, right?
Yeah, probably so.
I was looking at this liquidity on the derivatives exchanges real quick, because on March 12th, all the market makers got blown up. We talked about that a couple episodes ago, I think.
Yeah.
And they looks like most of it came back. Bitflyer is still a hot mess, but
Bitflyer is the blue one.
Yeah.
That's it. Bitflyer Japan or US?
I
I'm
don't know
guessing
what their data
Japan.
is from here.
Their US stuff
It's definitely
has no
Japanese
liquidity.
exchange. They do a US side to it, but
Yeah, I don't think their US stuff has any volume, so I'm assuming that's Japan.
yeah.
But yeah, it looks like the rest of them pretty much recovered, unless it's just the scale looks tight because it blew out so much, and
Yeah, I can't change the y-axis here, but so that's good news.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Yeah, their bid-ask spread is crazy high on Bitflyer. 3%. And that is it's BTC JPY.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nasty. Deribit spreads are still pretty high too, but Binance and BitMEX are pretty low, real nice. I hope we don't just set up all the same problems again with these derivatives exchanges. Like it seems like spot's kind of leading stuff still, but I don't want the derivatives exchanges to have the same problem exist again that caused a bunch of issues in March,
Yeah, I think it's inevitable to happen over and over again. So it's just a matter of, rebuilding and then breaking it down.
I hope not to that degree. I mean, that was a ridiculous 50% move in 24 hours, whatever. Hey, before we get off of altcoins completely, Corpus Mori in chat asked us about Doge again. We've talked about it every week, so we need to continue it, in my opinion. Is there any update on the mega consolidation from Doge?
No.
Still 27 to 28
It's,
sats. Just put your bids on like 26, 27 and see what you get filled, basically, if you're interested. And then sell, like, I don't know, what's the stop? That's what we haven't really defined. Like, if this fails, if Doge,
there's no stops for Doge.
there's no
Come
stop.
on, you're either in or you're not in. That's the trade, man. What are you stopping yourself out on?
Okay, let's just say I am a stop. I am a stop type of guy. Is it 22 sats? Is it 18? Like, where do you say?
I am the one who stops.
What's that lower Bollinger Band that you got on there? What's that sat level? 24.
24.
Yeah. So I think maybe 23 sats, mental stop. What's that? 20% downside for 100% upside? Actually, probably 200% upside. I mean, Doge is going to like 60 or 70 when it breaks out of this, right? If it goes up.
Yes, I think so. So what do we say? 23? I mean, I think it goes. Let's just conservatively say.
I love your risk side on that.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Go to 0.
So what's that?
Now it's just straight
R&R?
meme. Now it's just straight meme level. A 2 sat downside. Yeah, if you get filled at 26, if you stop at 24, 23.
37 R&R at 100. I mean, it's stupid. It's
Do not doubt the Doge.
I don't want to talk my own book up too much or anything, but I'm already in it. Let it be. I'm not concerned. And then, like we talked about earlier, if it's holding its SAT price, then it's gaining USD if BTC is going up, right?
Yeah. Hey,
it's
Josh.
a win-win.
So before we get back into Bitcoin, I want to talk a little bit about legacy, because I had a 30% of my long-term accounts remaining in equities, and now I'm 100% low yield bonds. So I want to talk about the mistake I made and then also what I'm seeking. So my macro analysis isn't really different. The mistake I made, though, was I initiated this transfer when the SPY was failing this 200-day moving average on the daily, and then they bought the crap out of it towards the end of the day, and I made my adjustment at 10 in the morning. Now, I could have canceled it at the end of the day, but I decided my macro thesis wasn't really any different, but my immediate trigger of doing a failure of the 200-day moving average was no longer valid. So anyway, so it processed up here around 304 the next day's open. So I'm in profit, technically. And I think legacy looks pretty weak. I just see more opportunity to the downside than to the upside at the moment. But I'm curious. Do you think that stocks are stocks cheap because it's been so many years since we have been at these kind of 300 levels on SPY or 3K SPX? Basically, since mid 2018, we've ranged above and below that level. Or do you think this is out of sync with reality, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's definitely out of sync with reality, right?
But is it justifiable?
We don't recognize that, we're crazy. What?
Is it justifiable, though? Like,
that it's out of sync with reality?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'm looking for...
Look at unemployment. Look at bankruptcies. Look at all these things that are going on right now.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense, right?
Well, I'm looking for, at minimum, a 10% move to the downside, which is a retest of the 200-week, which in non-recessionary times is a buy-the-dip type of opportunity. 2016, 2018. And so theoretically, I could get back in there if it decides to bounce, because on the other end of that, if you go all the way back to the 2008 recession and some others, it'll retest the bottom side of the 200-week as well. Like the 200-week this is why I like it in Bitcoin too, because just look how this plays in legacy. It tends to give it several tests, but eventually once it breaks one way or the other, it tends to trend significantly there. So you could buy the 200-week if it gets back down there in case we do have more upside, and then you can sell it on the retest if we break below it, So it gives you some pretty clean setups in my mind. And either way, I'm looking for at least another test of that 200 week, even if this market somehow decides it can recover. But in reality, I actually think that over the next year, 18 months, we can find new lows, which I don't know if that's consistent with what other people may think, but I think we can easily retest 2015 and 2016 levels on the S&P. So I felt like this was a reasonable time to essentially minimize my exposure to the market. My only exposure to the market now is new contributions until I decide to reallocate, which I won't probably do for, I'll give this a few months or a 10% move either way before I make a new decision.
I was trying to look at the
oh, there's that 2MA transition thing.
Yeah. 4MA times 2.
How does that work?
I was trying to edit it a little bit.
So you're coding on
MA multiplier.
I better switch back to my screen if you're
Yeah.
I don't know that writing Pine script is good TV.
No, I was just trying to see what the support is from the 2-year MA, and it looks like it's at 2,800.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole market doesn't make sense to me, so
yeah.
Don't ask me.
And if I look at
how to trade it.
if I look at the dadgum Qs, man, look at that. Look at that. Like, that's an equal high, which could end up being the world's biggest double top. But it's hard to imagine the Qs going well below like 160 again. But like, what if these went to 140? What if the Qs went to 140?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm just saying. That was December 2018. It wasn't that long ago. If there
are companies doing better. We talked about this last week, I think. But
yeah,
companies are doing better in the coronavirus mayhem than they were before. You know.
Yeah, I find it unlikely that the Qs will do so poorly that they'll go back to 2016 levels. I think we've had a paradigm shift in where profits are found corporately, so that makes some of this overvaluation of the NASDAQ makes sense. Like, there's more inherent value in big tech than pretty much anything else in our society. So I understand why it's heavier. But, man, until this makes a new high and consolidates, I hate this double top. So I'm happy to be out of this, even though I made my near-term shorts way too short-sighted, near-dated. So I've got some shorts expiring today because I didn't give them enough time. But I've got some more on SPY that expire around June 19th, which is probably also not enough time. So it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed profit getting out, but that's on active accounts. On my longer-term accounts, I'm just cozy in cash, if you will.
That's a nice bearish fitting top on the weekly there.
I know, right? All right, so you've got some metal stuff up here.
What's going on with the trade war? Because China's devaluing currency, Hong Kong is rioting, U.S. is a mess.
Yeah, Trump's threatening more announcements. It's like the opposite of Justin Sun.
I'd have to map that out to what happened last time with BTC, but I gotta think that
could be bearish.
More bullish than bearish.
Oh, more bullish?
No, it's gotta be, right? Because if China devalues currency in response, right? Isn't that the play?
Yeah, if they succeed in devaluing the currency, perhaps so.
This is just silver, gold and silver again. Weekly bear div continues.
Super Wyckofian on silver.
Silver looks eerily textbook, like someone's painting it. Honestly.
Yeah, but
like, look at that bounce from 12.
But it is top of the range, so wouldn't you want to wait for the whatever that little squiggly breakout that Wyckoff shows typically?
Yeah, the markup thing. You want to wait post 19.
Yeah, play it from like 19 to 25.
Which I'm told in the physical market it's above 20 already, but
these dang paper markets
don't own any of that. It's the other thing about, speaking of paper markets, this ETH premium. So the GBTC product, ETHE, 461%.
Yeah, that's insane. That's just a complete disconnect from reality.
they don't. I don't think people who are trading this know what they're trading, and
That's
I feel like there's some sort of
460%
moral.
like that
Isn't
is
there
the
like a
NAV.
moral conundrum? Like you're selling a product that has a 500% premium.
That's a premium to NAV, right? Like the actual net asset value of the the underlying
Correct.
commodity.
Correct.
So this is a securitized version of a commodity, if Ethereum is a commodity, and so the price people are paying for this is 460% times the actual underlying price of Ethereum. Like, just go to friggin' Coinbase. But this seems very arbitrage worthy. Like, can this be arbed? Can you play this like a curve? Can I?
I assume you can.
Couldn't
But
I?
are you gonna what? So you short this a long spot, right?
Yeah,
You
you
cash and carry.
yes, you short this and you long spot, and you wait for the premium to go down.
Right. I don't know. I think the only thing that drops this is ETF shenanigans for ETH, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon.
Is there a chart of the
ETFs.
premium itself? That would be interesting.
I had one, but it wasn't accurate.
That'd be a good one to
I don't-
track if nobody's tracking that yet. I'd love to see that.
The thing is, the values for the pink sheets change, like ETH per contract or whatever. So you'd have to like code it specifically to be tracking those changes.
Mm.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Bitcoin, the GBTC is only at like 21% right now, which is fine. But 460%, I don't know. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I know we're jumping around here a little bit, but I pulled up one more chart that I want to show you, which is the IWM weekly. Perfect horizontal retest, and also 200 week. So it looks like it could bounce around here maybe, but a gap tag, and it's got everything. It's got everything you want in a bearish retest. And IWM has outperformed a good bit recently, but that's the juice right there for peak short opportunity around 144. And I actually did short that. I think I'm still profitable on my IWM shorts. But, it's interesting. SPY, QQQ, IWM, 3 different markets, representative of 3 different things. And you see the strength so clearly in the NASDAQ, in those big companies, full double top, close to all-time highs. And you see the lag that's existed in IWM and the Russell 2000. The real companies are struggling, So much of the overall weight of the market is in the top 5 companies. And some of the outperformance, if there's an IWM over SPY type of chart, or IWM over Qs, IWM's outperformed the Qs for most of this week. I think purely because the Qs, the Amazon and Apple had negative days. So it's like a couple of stocks have negative days, and the whole index underperforms. So it's none of this seems healthy to me. Like it's just not healthy. But anyway, I thought this was a nice textbook bearish retest, despite being an enormously deep kind of V-shaped retest. The upward test was very, very high as well, and I don't see upside. I cannot help but see downside. And I'm sorry.
I mean, if anything, it just makes me excited for November, because I don't care who wins, but it's just going to be chaos in the markets, one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
I think it could have been more chaotic. Like if Bernie ended up getting elected, I think that would have been more bearish for the markets. I think Biden, like, the market's happy with either one at this point. But
yeah, I think the market's okay with it. I don't know, man. I don't want to get into politics.
I was just looking at this. Yeah, I know, but
you got Bitcoin
it's coming
pulled
up, right? It happens every 4 years. We're at a historic time. BTC just happened. I don't know. I mean, it's just an interesting thing to think about. It looks like the SPX correlation went to 0 today.
That's the
Is that right? Yeah, it's basically at 0.
So since March, that correlation's been on a huge decline.
Yeah.
What's the blue one?
Which is bullish. This is NASDAQ.
Okay.
It's down there, but not as much as.
And what's the orange
SPX.
line? That's the VIX.
That's the VIX, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to see the correlation coming to zero because that's what you want to see. Even if the markets are bullish, I don't want to be correlated with SPX ever. You know?
Yep, absolutely. All right, what else is on your mind?
So, oh, man. What else is on my mind? Been thinking a lot about DCA strategies versus TA strategies. Probably going to do a write-up on that, show some math. Last time I did that TA still beat DCA. So yeah, it's just basic like trend following strategies. Buy at the 50-200 cross, for example. It just beats DCA, you know, especially when we have these multi-year trends, which we're setting up for here, I think, or BTC.
Mm-hmm.
East to 750 still seems doable by the end of the year, even with the insane premium or insane open interest and funding right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just interesting time.
Yeah, that line chart really makes BTC look pretty flaggy. I've been glued to the weekly that I've got here with the level specified. Now, if I zoomed in on the daily, I would be able to provide justification. I mentioned on Twitter how I liked a long over like 92.50, or currently a retest of like 93.50 today you could have gotten. I like that trade for higher, kind of, you know, getting ahead of the long breakout. But the real money is, in my mind, breaking above the weekly high here, above 96.60, whatever that weekly close was. I really don't think 10.2 is going to stop it, but purely on a weekly basis, a trend breach would be a weekly close above 10.2. I think that sends us off to the races, and I think this several weeks of consolidation above the 20-week is very bullish. I love it all around, and this is more justification for why I don't think people deserve sub 8K. The 20-week is at 82.50. The 200-day is at 8K. Screw 7K, man. I'm not in for that. I just think we range, consolidate, and go up. That's my thoughts.
So I'm not going to move my bids from 7.9, which leverage BTC underlying. You know, I don't think shorting this is good here because it didn't break the Adam and Eve, or inverted Adam and Eve neckline thing.
Yeah.
Horizontal. Didn't break down. We survived CME rollover. There was this massive, I think the biggest. So what people do for these contracts is they roll into the next contract. And we started to see it like Wednesday this week. And then there was just a massive roll. So instead of like waiting till expiry, people will roll it to the next contract early, or they'll close the position, right? And most of these actually rolled to the next contract. So I don't know if you can read that as a long or a short, but you can look at the COT data, COT report, however you say that.
Commitment of traders.
Yeah. So this one was from 19. So I think, I don't know how often this updates, if it's every week, but it's been more than a week.
Yeah. It's usually on Fridays, I believe.
I thought but the interesting thing on this last one was both longs and shorts were up significantly. As far as the leveraged money is concerned, longs definitely way up, and shorts as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people are definitely going to just embrace this post-halvening natural outcome in Bitcoin of lower emissions. You know,
and this is just cash settled.
You know, there's not too much hype around Bitcoin. People aren't freaking out, and yet we're like a hair under 5-figure Bitcoin. We're normalizing 10K-ish level prices. We're gearing up for our fourth tap into 10K plus Bitcoin. You know, you test these psychological supports. Eventually, you break up. through them, and all the narratives fit. I'm not trying to be some kind of hopium dealer here. I don't want us to miss the ride that we've spent years trying to catch.
Well, yeah, no one's missing the ride. Like, we're not out here calling for shorts.
Oh no, man, there might be some asterisks out there in the world.
The thing is, you just can't short crypto unless you're absolutely sure. Being hedged, fine, but shorting is just so difficult because this stuff can just pop up like Maker 30% in a day randomly, right?
Yeah, I wanted to short Theta the other day when they listed it on FTX, and I didn't do it at all. But certainly at first, I was like, I'm definitely waiting a little bit because every genius was like, oh, they just 3x'd, and Binance and FTX, everybody listed it. I'm gonna go short that, and then it went up like 30% more.
Yeah, anytime I see anything like that on Twitter, I know it's too late for me.
Yeah, but when I looked at it the next day, it was up like 25% intraday, and it looked terrible on low time frames, like needed to die. And then the CoinDesk article came out about Google being a validator, and I was like, man, now this feels super toppy. But I've been so lazy to do anything. Like I don't want to go, unregulated exchanges and send coins and all the crap that you got to do to short that. But I was like, doink, there's my paper trade right there. That's where I went short from, and it's probably down like 30 or 40% since then. So screw me for not doing it.
Yeah, I just wasn't gonna fool around with that. I didn't even know what it was before I started seeing all these charts on Twitter from all these people saying like it's up 10,000%, whatever. Seeing this triangle thing that a lot of people are drawing resolve into 2021 with a bullish cloud potentially. I mean, is there a better setup than this? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's interesting. If we push up now, we got to push into that cloud. So I'm not sure what to make of that, but
yeah, I don't know. I really like the timing on this into 2021, like Q2 2021, Q4 2021 should be just absolute insanity.
Yeah, I feel very good about our beginning of the year call of saying that we think 15 to 16K could be where we're at in December. We talked about that as kind of our ideal level.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't have anticipated. I also said 5K holding. I wouldn't have anticipated the way those ranges occurred, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, I think there's a chance for a lot of people to be left in the dust. I know you're saying you don't think that people are going to be out.
How are you being left in the dust though? Like,
I think people are going to try to fade this all the way up.
If you're using multiple strategies here and you're telling yourself that shorting this is a bad idea, right? Like, I don't think you're going to miss the bus. The worst thing you could do is just be short, naked short, right? Just like hold no spot ever and just try to short everything. I think that's the most risky thing you could do.
Micah in the chat said, you mean like missing the 4K to 10K long? Because people did miss that. Like, you remember we were hammering on that being a bullish consolidation down there just because we didn't see the potential for the downside, and we saw so many people wanting to fade the top end of that range, and then it went, and it freaking went because people got caught upside down. And I don't think people are that ill prepared for the possibility for upside now, but I do think that we would see people consistently trying to fade each level. 10-2, 12K, 15K, 20K.
That's what you need. You need that rocket fuel.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Matchbox. You ever play with Matchbox as a kid?
No. What is it?
That's what those are called, right? Those cars, Matchbox cars.
I don't know.
No?
I know the name. I don't remember playing with them. My kids are playing with Hot Wheels a lot right now, where you like
Hot Wheels. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
You like smash the little thing and it sends it around the loop.
Yeah. So you know those like charging stations that they have.
Yeah.
Just like give it acceleration. Like that's what I feel like the shorters, the asterisks of the world who short every pop. Like you need those people to fuel us higher, right?
Yeah. So given that, Another question from Corpus: how high of a conviction do you have that BTC can breach the all-time high of 20K? He does not say in 2020. So in the long term, I have very high conviction that we're going to make a new high, and that when we do that, Josh has got these pivots. These are historically the type of things that I want to look for. But our R1, R2, resistance 1, resistance 2 in 2021, let's say if we do end 2020 and 16K or something like that, you know, our R1, R2, R3, they're going to be out there 33K or whatever. And that's the type of move I'm looking for on price exploration off all-time highs, is significant price exploration, going to try and find the fair value of Bitcoin now that it's broken the all-time high, you know, change the inflation dynamics, all that stuff. So yeah, 33K by July 2021. I could see it easily.
Yeah, I think we will break all-time highs by 2022. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind.
There's a lot of good stuff.
The bravest call ever. All-time highs by December 31st, 2022.
I mean, some people that I respect as traders and investors, like they think we need a lot more time to chill, and they think this consolidation will fail and we'll have another run down and just wear people down, grind them down. Maybe if the recession that we has so far been a micro recession, if it extends, prolongs, retracts, if there's enough deflation in the economy, I could see it taking longer than we think. But certainly if we just print our way out of it all and, you know, people get back to normal, the virus stuff doesn't continue to wreak havoc as bad as we think, then if there is a recovery and we've also increased our debt by magnitudes, then the route to all-time high is much quicker in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to this thought of what would it take for us to start breaking down, you know? I can't even think of anything other than exchanges exploding, stuff being illegal to do. The US maybe going back to hard-backed money might be bearish for crypto, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We got a couple
we survived Tether. We survived Tether nearly exploding. We survived Plus Token nearly exploding.
And now we got Macro Bros on our side. We got Real Vision, the Real Vision clan. We've got Preston from the Investors Podcast. We've got Paul Tudor Jones. I mean, lots of Bitcoin bulls out there that are respected. All right, we got a question on Twitter. Drez, top 2 names you would buy and size and hold for 12 months. I'm going to cheat and say Bitcoin is one of them. Is there anything else that you would hold for 12 months?
You have to hold it, or can you sell it when it's up? Because Doge would be the easy answer there.
I'll take you. Do your answer as that. Doge is fine. I think that's okay.
Well, I don't like anything that isn't BTC or ETH and doesn't provide staking, other than Doge. Not that I think staking is a great use case, but it's got the pumpamentals. So
yeah, I'll make a case for BNB here, but it's a big if. BNB is at a critical level in my mind. You can see the price line.
Next week is critical.
Well, look at this price line. I don't have to draw anything on it. Like resistance, breach, lift off point, support. And now, is this a swing failure spring to the upward direction, or does it go and die? And if you get the confirmation that this is going to head back into the range, then I think that makes the likelihood of higher strong. And I think if the market is healthy, there's a double here in BNB back up to this range. 18 to 38, right? 18 to 36 would be a double. So I think that could take a year. So that's a big...
In a vacuum, I don't touch that chart. Knowing it's BNB, and if we're bullish in general, like you're saying, I agree.
Yeah, you got to spring flip it. It's not... I'm trying to get something that's not like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but Ethereum weekly to BTC, similar. I mean, look at this. This just looks like accumulation before blast. Like all that crap I was showing you earlier about the pennant stuff, it looks like nothing relative to everything else. 0.05 Ethereum. Again, contingent on ETH 2.0, contingent on Bitcoin not going as fast as it could. That's another holdable.
That's not a log chart, though, is it?
No, I was not on. There's log.
Yeah.
But still, very similar. Flipping the 20-week, obviously this has done this a good bit. I like this look. I'm on Chad Bullwell's side.
I don't know.
The longs scare me, though. In a vacuum, though, that's the kind of accumulation chart I like.
Just gotta ignore the facts, man.
Ignore the facts. Link and Tezos scare me because they've had such long uptrends already.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna mention. It's hard to want to hold that for an extended period of time.
So many holders of a coin like this are sitting there thinking, when should I take profit?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're true believers. But relative to people who've been waiting for their moment to shine again, they've been waiting since January 2018. That's years of strong hands isms.
Yeah, but what's happened to Ethereum since then?
Nothing.
Bunch of dirtling is what's happened.
But all that's happened in those other coins is hopium.
So, yeah, I agree. None of this stuff is great. Like I was talking to somebody, and I told them, "You trade the most garbage of the garbage, not you, but this guy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, but it's all garbage,
Yeah, I would not hold Zcash. I could say that definitively.
You would not hold Zcash?
I would not hold Zcash. I would not hold Litecoin. Those are not the type. That's not accumulation. Those are breakdowns. And Link and Tezos have too much risk of being distribution to me. So I lean towards BNB, although that could be distribution. It needs to flip it. Of those big cap charts, Ethereum is my favorite. I know there's more. I know there's more big caps than this. If I go mid cap, purely because of that cyclical wave concept I talked about, the ultimate move that I might seek on something like Atom could take longer. I looked into Cosmos. I talked about that last week or the week before. I kind of like what they're doing in their ecosystem. So that's another reason why I might be interested in Cosmos. A year is a long time. That's longer than the type of swing trades that I prefer to play. But its last high was December 2019 and it's June. So like 6 months, sure. I'll hold that. I'll hold Atom for 6 months with a loose stop in a small enough position. What you got there? Gigantic cloud.
Oh, I was just looking at that ETH weekly again.
Yeah.
I was trying
the
to
cloud of promise.
Because 250 would bring us into the cloud. 227 is the key June here. Another reason this might take a little longer than we think to move higher. But either way, none of this looks bearish, right? Just looks so good.
Yeah, I mean,
everything
it looks like
good.
Mega resistance, but it looks okay.
On the high caps. Yeah, but like the R&R on that is just, it's like the Doge trade, right? It's like, you can't not throw some money at it.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, that same guy had other questions. He gave us a 3-parter. Most misunderstood and therefore mispriced names. I don't know if that's altcoins or equities or whatever. And then small cap equity love. So I imagine the second question was about a cryptocurrency. Should I shill a $20 million coin, Josh? Is that kosher an hour into the show?
Define shill.
Let's just talk about it. I'm not.
One last thing I'll mention for ETH is transactions per day are continuing to push multi-month highs. ERC20 ETH is at an all-time high as far as transactions per day by a lot.
Yeah.
So there's lots of activity on Tether recently still, and it's sustained. It's not all at once. It's not plus token stuff. It's just across the board. We're seeing prints. We're seeing Tether go to Binance like candy on Halloween. It's crazy.
Candy on Halloween.
Just 35 million was sent yesterday from Tether Treasury to Binance.
Wow.
If not more than that. That's just what I saw. But crazy stuff. Good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much all I've got.
Well, I've been asked to shill my $20 million cap. This is not telling you to go buy it, but the token that I've been watching and I have a position in, it's a 20 million cap. It's not very liquid. Please don't FOMO it or any of that thing. I don't think enough people are listening for that to matter. So I'll talk about it. Why I'm interested in it. So Enigma was the company that got pwned by the SEC. And so ENG is a security. They came to a settlement about it being a security. But there's a community fork that's occurred that the company Enigma has said that they are going to support. And there's a community proposal for a swap. So essentially, this has the opportunity, at least, for getting rid of all of the security concerns and then having incentivized companies working on this network. So I think this is one of those ones where if they can show that this token works and that everything around it works, they're building, or they've built, on-chain governance. This is all using the Cosmos ecosystem, by the way. This is what led me to dig into Cosmos, because now I'm a validator. I'll show you. I'm a validator for.
Oh, what you meant to say was you were a community member.
I have 10. I'll show you. This is me. I'm Ledger Secret Keeper. I have 10 secrets, SCRTs, because they have not done the ENG swap. So the only way to have these is by someone sending you a couple so that you can get involved in the ecosystem. But I can vote on community proposals, and all this governance is happening on chain. And this is what I was talking about before, where this stuff was using the Cosmos technology, which I think is actually really cool. So that's why I like Atom, is they're enabling other things to, essentially create stuff where you can have validators, you can have governance and proposals, and you can have all kinds of stuff built into your blockchain. So if blockchain for XYZ is a thing, I think Cosmos is a really fascinating ecosystem or platform for that stuff to exist on. Whether or not it means that Atom has token value, I don't freaking know. I'm not trying to tell you that. But nevertheless, if this swap fully goes through, which they did rebrand to the Secret Network, so Enigma would become Secret, and if exchanges, primarily Binance, if they support that, then Secret would essentially be swapped from Enigma, and Enigma may end up mispriced because it got obliterated with that SEC what's that called, settlement that they had. So this token is a stand-in for Secret, or it's worthless. It's one of the two. So it's either zero or to be valued at whatever Secret ends up being valued at. Now, I got in lower. I'm not telling someone to buy right here because we're right at daily resistance, but we're also at a weekly breakout on it, and it's illiquid. Selling it is not going to be easy. This is not the best place to buy it, but this is I think around $20 million cap. And I like the fundamentals of this coin just as well as some projects that are way, way bigger. So nevertheless, I brought the breakout back here. So I'm in like pretty darn good position on this. But I will be a community member. I only have 10 secrets right now. But I'm a validator, baby. Gotta get some staking going on. People can delegate to me. You can delegate your secrets. Did I just kill you with this shitcoin shitcoinery?
I mean, you lost to me, so who knows how many thousands of people you just lost at that explanation.
Well, we get to come back to the comforts of clouds over here. But anyway, I hope that my disclaimers of you do you fit in there. But I am speculating that the secret token will come out of this pretty well, and that any value in Enigma will transfer to secret, and then secret has upside potential. DYOR.
Okay. I will watch it.
I'm talking mostly to the listener. All right.
Gotcha.
Finish us off. What are your thoughts?
Alts look good. Alts look good. BTC looks good. I didn't expect alts to have quite the run they've had. I didn't expect BTC to not break down. ETH Cloud on the daily is going to flip bullish today or tomorrow. And that's just a blind long based on my system. So
blind long based on system. Good, man.
Every time I don't listen to the cloud, I always kick myself later.
You regret not listening to the cloud.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you. I think that cloud is choppy, but it's good enough. It tells you to buy the dip. That's what it tells you. That flat top.
Yeah, definitely buy the dip territory across the board, I think, except for stuff that's breaking down. EOS, LTC, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And personally, Bitcoin-wise, for me, I think we're in kind of the middle of no man's land, but hopefully a bullish consolidation where you can buy the breakout. And if we get that clearance on the weekly close, that's big mama jama opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if we make a higher high there, watch out.
Watch out.
Bears, watch out.
Could this just be a giant mew? A zoink?
Well, it looks like a flag on the weekly. You can't get bearish on a flag formation, right?
Yeah. And that Dalai Lama laughing meme where the candle goes down and then back up. I mean, this is class. This is not even classic, but it's quality. Like, just legendary rectage, and then up.
Could you imagine selling?
Just capitulating like down here in the 4Ks.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm done with crypto. Screw this. I'm out of here. And then just eternal up.
Yep.
All-time great buying opportunity, and instead you sold everything at that moment. I don't want to be that guy. I will not be that guy. I was not that guy.
I was a buyer down there, so
yeah, I was too.
Infinity.
I have to admit, I was lucky to have been out of the market heading into that. I did not like the setup ahead. There was this head and shoulders. So I sustained my capital during that drop. So it was a good move for me, but all in all, it's still hard, but all in all, it was a positive tradable range for me. So, but it wasn't good. I still wouldn't say it was great for crypto. Like, we lost some folks there, you know?
No, but look at the legacy markets. It's not like
they did the same thing.
We're angels on that move either.
Yep. And
that's all I got. I'm just cycling between the same stuff now. I think I've said everything I wanted to say, you know?
Good. I think that means we're done. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it. Glad y'all were here. Hey, give us a rating on iTunes. We don't ask for that very much, but if you're here, if you're to this point, then we appreciate you being here, and we hope that you'll take one more step and give us a rating on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Tell all your friends. Let us know what's up. And yeah, I guess we'll talk to you next time, right? Follow Josh at Carpe Noctem on Twitter and his YouTube. He's got great videos out. My YouTube. Catch us on the next stream on Twitch. Bye-bye.
empty river has just run dry. In a house of cards, I feel the breeze wound so tight I can barely breathe. Oh, the change